Hello, this is my studio. So let us go inside and get to work. I'm Michael Odysseus Yakoumakis, a painter stuck for the moment, hopefully, here in Athens of Greece.
Tell us about your childhood, about when you started your first experiment making artwork. Who is your incentives?
My childhood, let's see now, nothing impressive here there. A typical middle-class childhood during the 60s, all regular, blissful, carefree. To get the vibe of it, you can read all comic albums of Tintin, Asterix and Lucky Luke, storybooks by Enid Blyton, Le Petit Nicolas, that book series of, or the unforgettable Little Hero, a Greek children's stories and series. Now, how I got involved with painting, definitely and for life. I was about 9 years old then. Like any other child, I was playing with painting since much earlier, and at the age of 9 is when most children begin to gradually lose interest in art making. For some of us though, both fortunately and unfortunately, this is not the case. Now my personal story goes as follows. I had seen a film about an artwork thief, got really impressed of how he would break through sophisticated security systems of international art museums, leave a perfect copy of the painting he was stealing, a copy which he had previously painted himself, mind you, in the place of the original, and break out of the museum again with the original in hand and without anyone noticing. I decided then, at 9, to become like my hero, a professional artwork thief. I got some old door locks and started to meddle with them, trying to learn how to pick them, and got some history of art books, trying to learn how to copy famous artworks. The books I had got from my godmother, Lula Mavroulidou, a famous painter herself, and I got her also to show me the basics of carbon drawing and oil painting. You see, I was the type of child who would become really determined to implement successfully whatever project hit my fancy. 5 years later, I was 14 by then. I had long before lost interest in lockpicking and artwork stealing, although I did actually learn on my own how to pick a simple closet lock. However, I had become fervently enamored with the art of painting. I kept painting pretty good by then, I dare say, copies of famous paintings, and I had developed a special predilection for Domenico Theotokopoulos, known as El Greco, for most of the Italian Renaissance painters, for Goya, Otto Dix, Diego Rivera and Baldus. All these became since then and still are my incentives, haunting, so to speak, my entire artistic oeuvre.
What's your goal of create an artwork?
My goal in art making, regardless of what I think as my goal at any given moment during the creation process, usually I think I'm seeking to communicate to other people through the symbols I put on my canvas, my ideas, ideals, ideologies, emotions at the personal level, at the social level, at the philosophical level. At the end of the day, however, after the work is finished, I invariably realize that my soul has been undressing itself of my personality, my I. While I'm drawing and painting, my soul is spreading this I on the canvas, mixing it with other symbols, constituents of the surrounding cosmos, seeking to stand naked of any I before the cosmos and experience thus actually that there is no I and the cosmos as two separate poles. There is just me, the cosmos.
Explain us about your works and life, and tell us, is there something similar between them?
Well, like any typical symbolist painter, my works simply describe in terms of symbols my everyday experiences. These are not essentially different from any other Westerners. Depending on the symbols used to describe it, My quotidianity can appear as boring as everyone else's. However, the trick is in seeing the magical dimension in one's quotidianity, dimension which is definitely there, simply by using the appropriate set of symbols to describe it. No matter how magical this set of symbols, it will describe quotidianity as accurately as the most realistic and pragmatical of symbol sets.
When did you join to Stuckism?
On June of 2004.
What is the meaning of Stuckism, in your opinion? I mean, how do you describe yourself as a Stuckist artist?
Well, Stuckism is a movement not about any given artistic form, but about a given artistic ethos. That ethos which dictates that in art it is the sincerity of motives which really counts. Now, such an ethos liberates the artist from any set of rules, so that he or she can focus on art's principles. Aesthetic rules are ephemeral, they are specific implementations of the aesthetic principles for the solution of a particular aesthetic problem. Aesthetic principles are the very properties of the cosmos, expressed in aesthetic terms, hence they are eternal and immutable. Being our Western civilization in its final, its dying stage, that of crazed capitalism, its art is by long now meaninglessly entangled in rules. Now, by virtue of its return to the principles, Stuckism becomes an art movement of a coming, a fresh, a new civilization, which will substitute the dying current one.
What do you think about the atmosphere of the contemporary art in Greece? Tell us about problems that you are involved in your work and life.
As I mentioned, answering your previous question, art is, in contemporary capitalism, degenerated in a disgustingly overpriced merchandise and in an idiotic kitsch and fancy propaganda of capitalism's hollow ideology of consumerism. This situation appears in its worst in countries of capitalism's provincial periphery, such as Greece, where capitalism's crisis at all levels is most evident and advanced. Now, you want to know about problems and my involvement? No time really left to answer that one. Actually, it would take a very long interview. Essentially, I'm struggling to survive without minimally compromising my art, made it so far, and to play an active role in my country's movement for our liberation from the financial and political yoke of the European Union and the Euro monetary zone.
Thank you.
Thank you.